Hi everyone, how have you all been? Oh, so good to see you all again. Oh, hold on. Hearing an echo going on there. Look, Khan. Khan says, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, the captain himself. Yep, the captain is here, and he's glad to see all of you are here as well. Let's see, we got Selena, we got Dead Wolf Productions, we got the Dark Lord, JWK, Khan here as I mentioned. We got Brandon here, we got Goat, Super Angry. Let's see. And plenty more of you jumping in as well. Big Bash is here as well. Oh, so great to see you guys again. Last week we didn't do a live stream because I was doing a video call with you guys on my private Discord server, which is for patrons who are on this perk right here. So I'm trying this out. Oh, hi, Miles. So I'm trying this out as a way to like have it both ways. I can. Oh, hi, Crazy Cat Lady. I'm trying this out so I can do it both ways. So this way I can speak to you guys on a live stream like this, but then I can also speak to you guys like face to face. You see my face, I see yours, and we can chat that way. And I'll try to do some more activities. So hopefully, if all goes to plan, we'll be able to have a watch party on Discord next week when we do the next video call on Discord. So you're definitely going to want to be sure to jump in on that because we will have a lot of fun with that. And if all goes to plan, I'll tell you what I'm planning to do on Discord next week, later on in this stream. So let's see who else has jumped in. Oh, we got the Time Shadow who's jumped in. Says, hey Eric, have you heard the news about the writer of Batman Part 2? I have. He said that he's interested and is trying to get in contact with Sam Raimi so he can pitch him an idea for Spider-Man 4 about Tobey Maguire being married to Mary Jane, and the story being about him having to kind of like, deal with a kid, deal with having a kid. So yeah, if Sam Raimi gives it the thumbs up and is interested, I would love to see a Spider-Man 4 movie with Tobey Maguire and the original crew. Fireboy is here as well. Great to see you, Fireboy. So, yeah, how was last week for those of you that did not have a live stream? Did it feel weird? Because it did feel weird to... Oh, got Rohan here as well. Thanks, buddy. Oh, I Hate Anime is here too. So yeah, was it weird not having a live stream last week? Because it kind of was for me. I've kind of become so used to doing live streams every single week that when I didn't do one last week and I went on to Discord instead, it felt different. I've not quite done that before, so that was definitely something different. That was for sure. Time Shadow says it did feel kind of strange, to be fair. Fireboy says yes, I'm happy they know live stream. Sad Blue says, oh, Sad Blue has just joined. Thanks for joining, bud. Deadwolf says a little bit weird. I Hate Anime says he liked the chat last week. I liked it too, so yeah, that's I'm glad you enjoyed that. Big Bat says, Eric, how do you pick stream topics and decide what will be fit for the stream? I decide based on the topics that I want to talk about, like the ones I want to be like the main focus of the discussion. That's what I'll usually choose. And you guys, I let you guys have a say as well, and you guys often give me ideas as well. So let's see. Khan says, I definitely miss the weekly live streams, but if it makes you happy, Eric, we'll do them. Oh, that's good. That's nice. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, like I said, if any of you guys can want to join in, that's the way to do it, is to become a patron perk. And once you do that, you just gotta... it'll tell you that you can gain access to the Discord. You just gotta combine your accounts. Sorry, give permission to your Discord account from your Patreon, and that's it. You'll gain access to the Discord. And we can all chat, like, in person. Or face-to-face, I should say. So, let's see. Side says, yeah, it was a little weird, because I'm busy working with university, so I hope one day you get back to the weekly live streams. Well, we'll see what happens. Oh, Connor is here! Great to see you, Connor. Thanks for joining. The Dark Lord says, it was fine. Finally finished Iron Fist, and if I had the chance, I scream at my past self to not watch it. I do much more than just that. Yeah, Iron Fist, I told you, that is a very rough show to sit through. I've not even seen it all the way through. I just watched a little bit, and that was it. The bad word of mouth was enough to put me off and warn me to stay away. Time Shadow says, hey Eric, have you considered using a text-to-speech system for the Super Chats and Streamlabs chats? I've never quite looked into that, I don't think, so we'll see what happens eventually, but right now I think the system we have is fine. Space Wolf! Great to see you here, bud. Hui Toonmore is here too. Joshman is here as well. Goes, how are you doing today, Eric? Would you consider doing a trailer reaction on Zootopia 2, the brand new trailer that just dropped? And do you have any updates regarding upcoming videos? Okay, for Zootopia 2, I guess I could do a trailer reaction, but the next trailer reaction I'm going to try and do is the Wolverine one, because I've still not gotten around to it, bizarrely, because I've already seen the trailer. We did a Discord video call when the game announcement happened, and I already watched the trailer, and I did it live with those of you that were on Discord. And it was a good trailer, definitely. A lot of great bloody kills in there and everything, and I can dissect it more in detail in my trailer reaction for Patreon, and for YouTube memberships. But yeah, I'll look into that. We'll see. Goat says, when did you get a haircut? I got it a few days ago. I've been wanting to do it for quite a bit actually, but I never got around to it. But time opened up and I got it done. So yeah, and Joshman also says, any updates regarding upcoming videos? Yes, the next Versus video that I'm working on, the next Versus video right now. I'm writing the script. It's going to be about 30 minutes long, at least. I hope it's 30 minutes. I don't want it to be any longer. I think 30 minutes is a good runtime for this. It'll be a 30-minute Versus video. I have to just refine the script. That's where I'm at now. I've watched the 3 movies, and it's going to be a Halloween Versus video that I'm making. So yeah, I've watched the 3 movies, I've written all my notes on it, and I've got a rough draft of the script right now. And I just got to go through, rewrite as much as I can, and make sure that I've got a final draft. Once I've got the final draft, I can start working on the video. So that's what I'm busy doing right now, and I hope you guys enjoy the video when it comes out. So yeah, also I've been reading my brother's book, the Happy New Year book. I've been reading it, and man, is it quite messed up. My brother does something in particular in one of the first few chapters. I won't tell you what, and when you read it, you'll see that it's quite messed up. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Big Bash says, is the book good? From the 3 chapters I've read so far, yeah, it is very good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading what happens next. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on the Halloween Versus video right now. There was another 3-way Versus video that was based on something around my childhood, and that I'm not gonna be doing. It turns out I'm not gonna get that Versus video done first, and then the Halloween one. It'll be the other way around. So you'll get the Halloween one first, and then you'll get that other 3-way Versus video. Joshman says, will you still do a video review on Zootopia 2 when it comes out next month in November? Do you think Disney is going to screw it up again? I don't know if they're going to screw it up. I think something like this they don't want to screw up. But, you know, you never know with Disney, though. So it could potentially end up being just another disappointment. But we'll see when it comes out. I'll check it out. Super Angry says, is it an animated movie for the Secret Versus video? Well, for this Halloween Versus video, no, it's live action, because it's a horror movie that I'm doing a 3-way Versus video on. The other one, yes, it is animated. Caleb, great to see you, bud. He says, in Simpsons, what are your favourite characters? Mine is Bart. Yeah, I'd say Bart is one of my favourite characters. I'm trying to think if there's another one. No, I think Bart is definitely the one. Electrify! Hey, bud, great to see you here. Alright, so, let's see. Okay, I'm going to wait for a few more of you to come on board, and then we're going to start going into the stories, and we're going to talk about the first one, which really... You think it sounds bad, just you wait until I tell you some more details about it. Hui Toonmore says, you embellished a few things about Superman 2025 in your 3-way video. First off, Lex Luthor isn't always yelling and screaming. He only does so when he is losing and is desperate. Yeah, that was the entire 3rd act. It's like he was just... That's what he turned into. I liked him in the first half of the movie, but after that... Once you lose your cool, you don't lose your cool like that, but he completely lost his cool and he never got it back. As a villain, if you're supposed to have a level of, like, calm and menace... Like, look what happened in The Batman when Carmine Falcone was in there, when stuff was starting to go wrong. He never broke down. He looked at Gordon, and Batman was like, what, you think Zorro here is gonna scare me? You know, like, gonna put me away? Don't you guys know that you boys in blue work for me? Like, he's calm. He's like, he knows he knows, because he's a very powerful person, he knows that he's not scared by these people. But in that, I thought he was just... It's like, come on, you're supposed to be better than this. So I did not like what happened there. And Electrify has been a member for 3 months. Hui Toonmore says he does that in the comics too. I don't care if he does that in the comics. That's the comics. You gotta make sure that... Look, there are a lot of Lex Luthors, and even in the animated series, where even if he breaks, he doesn't break like that. And if he does break like that in the comics, then it's certain comics. And in those comics, I wouldn't like it there either. You gotta make sure that when you do a villain, especially a top tier villain, you gotta make sure that you do him with a level of dignity. And the comics do a lot of things. That's because there's so many different versions. There are certain comics where the Joker is like a big creature. So if we see that in, like, say if Christopher Nolan made The Dark Knight and Joker turned into a creature, should we accept that just because it was done in the comics? No, you gotta make sure that you do it right for the movie that you're telling. And Lex Luthor is supposed to be a huge villain, and he was portrayed, I think, as just this very, like, low, this very weak man at the end of it. And I was expecting more from him. How is it that Carmine Falcone from the Batman movie gives me more menace and more of a sense of control than Lex Luthor does? That's not right. Lex Luthor should have been a much better villain than he was. And when a TV show from, like, a CW TV show like Smallville, once he becomes the Lex Luthor fully realized, when he does a better job than what this movie is supposed to be, I don't think that's good. I think it shows the movie up, quite frankly. Hui Tumas, that's your opinion then. Yes, that is my opinion, and I think that I give Lex Luthor far more credit than him just being a loud cartoon character. He became more of a cartoon character in the final act of the James Gunn Superman movie. He became more of a cartoon character than the actual Lex Luthor cartoon characters from Superman the Animated Series. It was too much. Go, I already said I got my haircut a few days ago. Big Bash says Lex Luthor turned into a bitch like Kingpin and Echo. Yeah, he was definitely kind of like done dirty, I thought, in terms of the final act. Because I liked him in the first half. Final act wasn't good. Let's see. Torment says, hey Eric, what do you think about You Season 5? I thought it was okay. There was a lot of good stuff in it, but I think when I say it's okay, I mean the way it just ended the whole show. I thought the ending was nothing special. I thought that was kind of disappointing. JWK says a D-lister, as you called him. Yeah, Lex Luthor came across as a D-lister at the end. How he just went out like such a bitch. Got a $5 super chat from Electrify. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate that. He says, you have any advice for me to be an actor and writer in the industry eventually? Well, as far as writing goes, just keep writing scripts, and I would say write them at different budget levels. So that means that if they are saying that we like this script, is too expensive though, do you have something cheaper? You could say, yes, I do. Here you go. So make sure your ideas are catered towards certain scopes. So you have like a bigger budget idea if you want, or you got like a mid-budget, or you got a low budget. So that way, if they say this is too high budget, you have something extra. That's one thing I'd say. In terms of advice on being an actor, I'm not an actor. I'm not in the industry. I cannot give you any advice in that regard. So I don't know, just make sure that you get as much experience as you can. Go to acting school if you can. And then just do as much as you can in terms of getting auditions in there. You know, there's a lot of actors on... If you look up on YouTube, you'll find actors giving much more advice than people like me. I'm not one to give you acting advice. Hui Toonmore says, Hollywood learns the wrong lessons. Instead of re-evaluating hand-drawn animation due to Demon Slayer's success, they instead decide to make a live-action remake. Very much so. And I would say the same thing with the Lilo and Stitch. They're making Lilo and Stitch 2, and they're bringing Chris Sanders back, who was one of the directors and writers for the first Lilo and Stitch animated movie. They're bringing him in to write Lilo and Stitch 2 in live action. But I'm like, if you're going to bring him in, then why don't you just do a 2D animated Lilo and Stitch movie with him in it as the writer? That would be far much more interesting, as opposed to them just bringing him in for the live action one, which is just going to be very disappointing, especially given what they did in the first movie as the foundation. Deadwolf says nobody wants a sequel to Lilo and Stitch live action. Yeah, no one does, but all these parents and families went and took their kids to go see it, and it made over $1 billion, so they're definitely going to do that. Josh says, out of curiosity, how would you go about bringing in Venom into the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies? I don't even know. I'd probably say do the space thing where, you know, the astronauts go up in space and then have it come in, you know, infect him that way. I'd say do something like that, but also make sure that when it's done, the city sees how evil Spider-Man is. That's what I kind of wanted Spider-Man 2, the game, to do, but it didn't. It played it so incredibly safe, and it was just a huge missed opportunity. It made the black suit feel inconsequential by the end. So I really hope that's what they do, is they show, in a huge way, they show just how the whole city turns against Spider-Man because of his actions in the black suit. That's what I hope they could do with Tom Holland at some point. Honestly, I wonder if Tom Holland will ever have his own version of Dr. Octopus. Well, I don't know, we'll have to see. Space Wolf says there is no way in hell they are making a Demon Slayer live action movie. Well, just you wait. I'm going to talk about what they plan to do with the live action Demon Slayer movie, and it's going to piss you off when you hear about it. Super Angry says, did the Wolverine game make you interested? It made me interested, but I feel like I've become such an expert at waiting now. What was it? They announced this game like 5 years ago. So that's like half a decade. And the game's not coming out until September or October of next year in 2026. So that means we're going to have to wait more than half a decade to see the Wolverine game. So at that point, 6 years of a wait that we've had. I feel like at that point I've become an expert. So I'm going to wait for the game to come out on PC. Then I'll play it on the Steam Deck 2, which should hopefully come out by that point. But I'm done buying consoles now. They've gone up in price way too much. The games are getting more expensive. I don't think that they hold the same value and replay value as the games from the prior generations of consoles. And it just feels like gaming is one big expense now. It's not a fun hobby anymore. But it is a fun hobby on the Steam Deck, which you should be able to see right over there. I've got my Steam Deck, and it's on top of my brother's book. The Steam Deck, to me, that Valve, when they created the Steam Deck, they actually made a device that felt like it wasn't penny pinching on the customer. It feels like a device that they genuinely made to kind of like take you back to the days when gaming meant fun, because gaming used to mean fun back then, but now it means expense. But the Steam Deck put the fun back in the gaming and took the expense out of it. The console itself, I think, is very well priced, especially when you take into account just how powerful it is, and the fact that the games are so cheap if you know when to get them on discount, and you know when to wait, where to buy them, like with the CD keys, or loaded as they call it now, and to wait for the discounts and the Steam sales on the holiday sales they do. There's just so much more benefit getting a system with Steam attached to it, rather than the PlayStation the PlayStation that's attached to the PlayStation Network, or especially Xbox, when you hear what we talk about with the Xbox right now. Connor says, I have the original Nintendo Switch, and I personally think there's nothing to upgrade with the Switch 2, and I'll continue to use my original Switch until it breaks down. Yeah, that is a very good perspective and way to see it. But the Switch 2, eventually, they're going to make games on that, where you're going to want to probably get some games on there. But, you know, the way they've designed that thing, I don't see how any customer would want to get something like that. Big Bash, you're right, microtransactions don't help either. Have I finally seen South Park Season 27? You mean the current season? Yeah, I'm watching it. It's pretty good, it's decent. Problem is they make you wait 2 weeks to get a new episode, and the recent one we had to wait 3 weeks, and I think we have to wait 3 weeks again now for this next one after that, so it's insane. It really is. Though kind of embarrassing how a show that is such low quality in terms of the animation takes so long to release. They should have had them done they should have had it done the episodes done like in advance, and then start releasing them week after week. But right now they're making them as they're releasing them. That's why it's taking them 2 weeks per episode, or 3 weeks in terms of last episode and this coming episode. Jake says, hey, oh hi Jake, great to see you. He says, where is it gone? I won't be able to be here all stream, but I'll be here for some time. Okay, that's great. It's great to see you back, Jake. I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, Josh Garcia says, who's your favorite Demon Slayer character? Mine is Rengoku. Ooh, Rengoku was a very good one. Yeah, my favorite character is Tanjiro. I really do like Tanjiro. Uh, I like what the kind of character he is, especially with the recent season he was in. He's really grown. He's come a long way. And in that movie as well, the Infinity Castle movie, the way he was trying to take down Akaza and the whole development there with him, I thought that was so good what he did. I really thought what Tanjiro did there was really good, and every time I just like his character more and more with the more we see him. Especially when he was bugging Mr. Giyu the whole time, even when he was having a bath and everything. That was funny. Sides. Okay, no problem, Fireboy. We'll get to the story in a second. Saeed says, have you heard Kevin Feige said that the MCU universe post-Secret Wars will be 70% the same, 30% different. Doesn't seem anything different. I expect 60-40. 60-40 would be better. I think that they should practically just flip the board at this point. I'm surprised that they're not doing that, so we'll see what happens. Jake says live-action remakes are usually shit. Yeah, they usually are. Joshman says, would you consider doing a watch-along on the first Zootopia movie? I guess we could. On Discord, we can do a live watch party. Who would want that? Tell me right now in the... Let me do a poll, actually. Would you guys be interested in that? Us doing a watch party? Because I've not seen that movie in yonks. Start. Oh, hi, King of the Monsters. Great to see you, bud. I'm just about to do a poll, so it's good. Billy is here as well. Okay, I'm going to write this down. Would you be... Join a watch party of Zootopia? Yes or no? Okay, there you go. Poll is put in. So go ahead and make your... go ahead and start voting. If you do want it, I'll do it next week. I said one week I'll do live streams on the YouTube channel. The other week I will do live video calls on Discord, on my private Discord. If you guys vote for it, yes, that's what we're watching next week. All of us together. We can all watch Zootopia. And like I said, I've not seen it in years. Like, pretty much since it came out. But we did used to watch it a lot in the year that it came out at home. So, yeah. King of the Monsters says he voted no. He just saw it yesterday. Oh, that's funny timing. Cole says, hey Eric, I saw Conjuring Last Rites yesterday. I thought it was a good enough send-off. 7 out of 10. Oh, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. The movie's making about $450 million worldwide, so it's doing very good in the theater. That's more money than all the Marvel movies that released this year, except for Fantastic Four. But it didn't cost anywhere near as much as Fantastic Four, so it's made more of a profit than Fantastic Four has. Eric, have you seen the first Scooby-Doo live-action movies? If yes, do you like them? I saw the first two. I hated the first one as a kid. Second one, I thought it was funny. Joshman says, the main reason why I brought that up is because the sequel that is coming out, and maybe that could give you an opportunity to think about doing a versus video on both Zootopia movies. I'll think about doing a versus video. I can't guarantee it, but I'll think about it. Alright then, so with that said, let's move on to the story. Actually, let's end the poll first. Then I'll move on to the stories. Okay, would you be up for a watch party of Zootopia on my private Discord next week? 88% of you said yes, and 12% said no. Alright then, that settles it. Next week, this upcoming Sunday, that'll be the 12th, I think, of October. We can all join together into a watch party and watch Zootopia. So, if you want to join join that watch party, all you got to do is go over to this perk over here on my Patreon, and connect your Patreon account to your Discord, and that's it. You've joined my private Discord, and we can all start watching next week. So, yeah, it should be a great amount of time. King the Monster says, "What time anyway?" What time? I'll figure that out and I'll announce it closer. All you gotta do is be a part of the Discord, and then I'll announce it. So I'll be sure to let you guys know. Dear21 says, "Been a long time since I was in one of these. Good to see you, Eric. How are you?" I'm good, bud. How about yourself? Have you changed your username or something? Because I can't remember Dear21 Pilots. I haven't seen The Long Walk yet, 10 Rex. Alright then, so with that said, we're going to move on to the stories, and just remember everyone that when I'm telling these stories, you got to make sure that you can ask questions, but I won't be reading it. I won't be reading the questions, because I need to stay focused on the stories at hand. But if you do want me to answer questions immediately, then all you got to do is either ask a question via a super chat, or ask a question via the Streamlabs chat, which I will post right now in the chat here. There we go. So if you guys want to get your question answered immediately, then all you got to do is donate either via Streamlabs, which is in the description and in the pinned comment section, or through a super chat, and I'll answer your question immediately. And as always, your donations really help support the channel, so feel free to do that. Anyway, let's see. Alright, let's get onto the stories, and this is something that is going to be, depending on who you are, it'll either get you mad, it'll get you annoyed, or it will just piss you off entirely. So let's just wait until we talk about that. Now, Demon Slayer Infinity War. This movie is doing incredibly well at the box office. It's an anime movie, it's broken all kinds of records. It's already being touted as like one of the most profitable animated movies of all time. Certainly in America. And it's also making a lot of money worldwide. So Demon Slayer Infinity Castle is just getting so much praise. Even I'm giving it so much praise. I love this movie. And Hollywood, they've basically seen this, and they're going to want to try to get in on some of that money. Now, one studio has already tried to get in on the money. We'll talk about that later. But another studio is already thinking about trying to get in on the money, but they're trying to get in on this money exactly from Demon Slayer. And that company is this one right here. Netflix. Netflix apparently are trying to make a live-action remake of the Demon Slayer anime. Now, apparently, what I heard is that it's a movie they're trying to do. They're trying to do a live-action movie, which is bizarre because you think what they would try to do was be in live-action series. That's kind of Netflix's thing. But no, they're trying to do a live-action movie. Now, this is something that Hollywood always does, and they always get it wrong. Whenever Hollywood try to, like cash in on an anime craze, usually what they'll do is they'll try to do a live-action remake. Just look at Dragon Ball Evolution. Look at Avatar The Last Airbender. That wasn't anime, but it was very anime-inspired. And Hollywood didn't know what to do with it, so they just tried to do a live-action remake in the form of a movie. And they also did the same with the Netflix series, which, if you've seen my Versus video, I also thought it just missed the mark in so many ways. And there are many other anime adaptations that we can point towards that Hollywood have just done so wrong. And with Netflix, Netflix have also done a live-action anime so badly. Like, if you remember, they did Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was a movie, and that was a brilliant anime, one of my favorites. But when they put it in the movie, they stripped it of everything that made it special, and they made it terrible. So Netflix have got a bad history with this. Now, on the plus side, Netflix did make that One Piece show, that One Piece series, which had the original creator contribute to the whole show, and he was monitoring it, and they did a very good job. People have sung that show's praises. But that's the exception, not the rule. And if you actually take a look at another one of these shows and adaptations that Netflix have done, who remembers Cowboy Bebop? That also was done badly, and people did not like what they did to it. So, Netflix trying to come in and say, we're going to do Demon Slayer, that does not fill me with confidence. What they should do, I would say, is just leave it, because Demon Slayer is not even finished yet. The anime is still going. But for some reason, they're looking at it already, and they're like, yeah, we want to go ahead and make ours now. So they're trying to capitalize on it at a very early point. And it's just sad. It's like, why do you have to come in and ruin something? It's like, we've already got this thing going, and it's going very well. We don't need you. But Hollywood can't help themselves. They're thinking superheroes not making money as much anymore, but anime is. So how about now we jump into that area, even though they don't understand anything about anime. So that's ultimately what the situation is. But that's not where it ends. There's a rumor going around. Now, I've been trying to find this rumor and validate it, but some people have been telling me, and I don't know where this is coming from, but I've actually heard that, brace yourself, they want to cast for Tanjiro, they want to cast Tom Holland. Now, I've been trying to find the story around this. I can't find it, but there are quite a few people saying that they are actually trying to get Tom Holland in as Tanjiro. That's what I've heard from some of you that have been telling me that. Now, that's not something I can validate, like I said, but it is very concerning. So, just like Hollywood tried to have him play Nathan Drake in Uncharted, and that was a bad decision, this is also another bad decision. Seriously, it's like they're just trying to get Tom Holland into everything. And I know we keep saying that they're trying to get Tom Holland in everything, but no, it's really true. They are trying to get Tom Holland in everything. And it's just so annoying at this point. It's like, I'm just tired whenever they say Tom Holland. I'm like, oh god. Like, I hope Tom Holland, I don't know if Tom Holland has watched this, but I hope he would have watched Demon Slayer, or at least know himself that I don't have to be in everything. Heck, he's going to get engaged and married to... He's going to get married to Zendaya. He did say once he has kids, you're just not going to see him anymore. So I hope that is what happens when this proposal comes to his desk. I hope he's then like, no, I'm done. I'm not acting no more. I'm taking a long break or something like that. That's what I hope happens. Big Bash says, I feel so bad for Tom Holland. Poor guy gets typecast. You don't feel sorry for him. Tom Holland just needs to know when to say no, like he should have with Uncharted. So yeah, that's ultimately the situation here. Billy says, what will Pedro Pascal's role be on this live action? We'll have to see. But yeah, this is not something that I am particularly... You guys can just tell, I am not optimistic about this at all. It's a stupid idea. Jake says he's basically Hollywood's go-to boy. Exactly. Crazy Cat Lady says she still hasn't watched the Cowboy Bebop series yet. I haven't yet either. I watched episode 1, me and my brother did, but we never continued because we got busy. But yeah, I would definitely... I definitely would want to give the Cowboy Bebop a watch. The anime, not the live-action Netflix one, which got cancelled, by the way. So they cancelled the live-action Netflix TV series, so... Yeah. Oh my god. Zilla Universe says, watch them cast Millie Bobby Brown as Nezuko. That would be bloody horrible if they did something like that. Oh, man. This just sounds worse and worse the more I think about it. And you guys aren't helping me with your ideas. Let's see. Billy says, if he needs the money so desperately, he could at least try watching an acting character. Yeah, although he doesn't need the money. Tom Holland is loaded. He doesn't need the money. He's just going to do it just to do it. Hui Tuma says, I personally want a live-action remake of The Last Unicorn, as it was based on a novel. Oh, that sounds familiar, but I don't think I can remember it. God, Big Bash, why'd you have to do this? He goes, imagine if Aquafina was in the movie. She wouldn't be. I'd be surprised if they put her in the movie. Spirit Hero goes, not our Nezuko. Yeah, definitely not. Here's hoping they don't do that. Our Nezuko. Imagine Tom Holland as Goku. Man, stop putting these ideas in my head. Seriously, this is just too depressing to think about. Caleb says, what are your thoughts on Zenitsu? He is my favorite character. Zenitsu I like when he's asleep, if you know what I mean. When he goes into that trance, I love his character then. But when he's that screaming, crying type, I find it funny, but there's only so much I can take. And the show knows that. But even so, he can be really, really loud at times. In this recent season, when he sees Nezuko and she says, welcome home, and he screams, they actually did a really funny animation where the sound waves of his scream made all of the characters cover their ears. So the show is clearly aware of what he does, that he's very noisy. And that was funny. Imagine they cast Chris Pratt. Oh my god. Ooh, you guys really know how to press my buttons, don't you? Oh, I do not like the sound of that. The Dark Lord says, imagine after Tom has kids and one day he returns to acting and he looks 80. Yeah, maybe. Possibly. Cameron says, why can't they just leave animated characters animated? Because they are trying to capitalize on them and make, squeeze more money out of them. So the first way they can squeeze more money out of them is by doing live action remakes. That's what they do. Although they should put their money into a bigger budget video game. I know Demon Slayer has got some video games, but they don't look that particularly interesting to me. If they could find a way of making a bigger budget video game, that would be something I'd be interested in. Cole says, I'm enjoying season 1 right now. There's no reason to remake it. Yeah, and the seasons get better as they go. I don't know how they're going to be able to do all of these in live action. It'll be very expensive. Crazy Cat Lady says, the anime is awesome and funny. It is. And we're just going to be seeing Hollywood sucking all the life out of it, is what I think we're going to be seeing. The Dark Lord says, guys, please, I don't need Eric using the cursed toothless picture again. I know, I was thinking of whipping him out again for this, but we're not. We haven't reached levels where you're breaking me yet, so. Spirit Hero says, as a joking side note, if they need an actor for Doma, the Japanese voice actor would be perfect, as he is also batshit insane. Joshua says, Eric, you didn't notice Attack on Titan had a live-action adaptation, and it was absolutely hated by fans of the source material. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, it's not good. That was not Hollywood, though. The live-action version of Attack on Titan, that wasn't Hollywood. But yeah, I do want to watch Attack on Titan at some point. I definitely will. Cameron says, because animation can do stuff that live action just can't do. Yeah, and it can look convincing, and it can be done within budget. Live action, it'll just cost way too much money, and there's always going to be corners they're going to try to cut. So, what do you guys think of this whole situation? Fireboy says, imagine Dwayne Johnson casting as Mozon. Yeah, that sounds like something that he would do. It sounds like he wanted to be the Mozon Capuzzi of the DC universe, didn't it? As Black Adam. Sounds like that's what he was trying to do. Thankfully, that's not happening. Plus, have you seen the box office, the domestic box office for that new Smashing Machine movie that just got released today? The box office is $6 million for its opening weekend. That is terrible. The budget for that movie was $50 million. And on its opening weekend, to open in, I think it was 3rd place, and $6 million. That is atrocious. Not to mention, you got to triple the budget of the movie in order, for them to get their marketing money back. So it didn't just cost them $50 million to make the Smashing Machine, it cost them about $150 million, and in order to break even, they'll need to make something like, I think, $300 million in order to break even, and that's a conservative number. So, yeah, that's going to be a flop for them. Torment says, hey Eric, what do you think about Doctor Doom's design in Doomsday? We've seen an image, but it looks fine. That's not what I'm worrying about. I think the design, they're gonna get it down fine. That's not my issue. My issue with Doomsday is many other things, mainly that they're shooting it without a complete script. Aman says, what do you think of Akaza? Oh, Akaza, what they did with him was phenomenal. What they did with him. I don't want to say anything for those that haven't seen it, but it was great in the Infinity War movie. I did not see that coming. I did not expect it. But I have been trying to find the music for it. I've been listening to these covers of it on YouTube a lot recently. It's really great music. Oh, Spirit Hero has donated $5. Thank you very much for the donation, bud. I really appreciate the support. To all of you, I appreciate the support. He says, did you hear the him actor is bitter about the Demon Slayer movie success? He said, fuck anime. I heard that. Yeah, he did. Because the movie, I mentioned this last week's live stream, he was very sour about the fact that his movie opened, was it in second place or third? I think it was second place. It opened in second place to Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer was on his second weekend and dropped 75%. And him still couldn't beat it. It made even less than Demon Slayer, which had dropped 75%. Which means him was an even bigger, was like a huge flop. That was embarrassing. So yeah, but it's funny that a Hollywood actor is actually pissed off at anime. And it's also kind of interesting that he says fuck F anime, because anime is something that is made also, you could say, from people that are diverse. You know, he's a black man, he's diverse. Anime is being made by people who are also diverse. And he's saying F anime because they actually did they made a movie that made a lot of money when usually they don't make money in American theaters. Anime doesn't make this kind of money. So when you think about it, that's kind of an insensitive thing for him to say from a racial point of view, because this movie is kind of getting its flowers when anime movies in Hollywood and in America certainly usually don't get their flowers. But he's got a bad attitude towards it. It's like the only time it matters when a diverse movie makes money is when it's my diverse movie. It's like that's kind of the attitude he has. It's still very much us and them, it seems like, from his point of view. But yeah, he did seem very salty about it. Goat says monkey. I'm still working on that monkey video. That script is mostly done at this point, so eventually I'll have to start editing it. But I'm working on the three-way versus video for Halloween first. That's my main priority. Goat just ruined and Khan what Jake was trying to do in the comments. Eric, I have a casting choice that you'll definitely like. How about Michael Jackson as Mozon? You know what? That surprisingly is what I thought he looked like in the second season in the intro where he's wearing the hat. I thought he did look like Michael Jackson, so that's kind of funny. The Dark Lord says, the story better be false, or I'll pay Cartman to deal with it. Ooh, what episode are you referencing? Because that sounds familiar, but I can't remember. Ooh, Slim says, out of all the Demon Slayer movies and seasons, which was the best? I'd say Season 2. Season 2 was great. Season 2 is not the Mugen Train movie. That was a movie. I mean, if you're watching Netflix, that's how it does it. I mean, the Entertainment District. I thought that was the best season. It just was like edge of your seat stuff the whole way through. Mugen Train was great as well. I think it worked as a movie better than Infinity Castle did. But I still love Infinity Castle as well. Especially the whole stuff with Mr. Giyu and Tanjiro and Akaza. That stuff was like my favorite part of the whole film. Khan says, but yeah, jokes aside, this is a terrible idea, and I hope to God it gets cancelled. But no way Netflix, and how they're obsessive wanting money from anime, they won't give up that easily. Oh, but knowing Netflix and how they're obsessive wanting money from anime, they won't give up that easily. Yeah, Netflix even said that about 50% of their subscription base watches anime, so anime is a big thing in their streaming business. Alright, now we're going to move on to another story. So, next story is the Xbox Game Pass price hikes. It's said now, for those of you that don't know, Xbox Game Pass is supposed to be this kind of like service where you can pay essentially a streaming price point And in doing so, you'll be able to get as many games as you want, and you can just install and play them. And it's meant to be like a subscription service type of deal. The thing is, however, Microsoft recently they updated the price from they upgraded the price of these subscriptions by 50%. So I think it was $20, and they upped the price of the subscription to $30 a month. So they basically have really massively upped the price of their subscriptions. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm sure you do know this, but streaming services, when you're having to pay a monthly fee, subscription costs, they're usually long term, they're usually a con, because the goal is for long term to slowly increase the price without you realizing it, until eventually you're paying a much higher price than you were when you initially signed on for that subscription service. That's usually the goal, is to start you off at a low price and then bit by bit increase the price without you realizing, to the point that a few years down the line you're paying a higher price. But normally that happens slowly. They got to up the price by $2, $3, something like that. But never have we seen a subscription service just raise its price by half. That is like a whole other thing right there. And oh, let's see. Jake says, by the way, I have to go now. Too bad. I was hoping to get to Simpsons movie story. Sorry, bud. Hopefully this video will be here so you can watch it again later. But thanks very much for joining, and hopefully if we're still here, you can be sure to join back in later if you got the time. Take care, bud. Thanks for joining. All right, where was I? Okay, so basically, yeah, what they did is that they upped the price by 50%, and that's just in certain places. I heard like in Brazil, they upgraded the price 100%, so they doubled it. It is insane, this whole price thing, and this is coming hot off the heels of when Microsoft just updated the prices of their entire console line, and they upped the price of their console line twice. Most recently with the Xbox One, not Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, they upped the price, and it's a device that is like a console that is 5 years old, and they've upped the price significantly to like $700 now. It is insane what they've done. And they've also got a portable PC, which is about $1,000, and they're gonna try to keep raising these prices. Another thing that they're gonna try to do, apparently, is they're going to, down the line, there's a leak that came out from someone in Xbox, if I recall, who said that what they're going to try to do is do a Xbox streaming service, sort of like where you stream the games, kind of like how you stream movies on Netflix, and you play games that way. And they're going to have an ad tier where it gets interrupted with ads. It's like, what are they doing? Like, it's like they've lost the plot in terms of what audiences or what gamers want. It's like gamers are not running it. Not to mention, they've shut down all these gaming studios that they purchased, only to just cancel all of them and fire all these employed people. It is disgusting what Microsoft have done. They truly have lost the plot. There is no more Xbox anymore. In fact, read this headline. This headline proves exactly what I mentioned about the fact that there's no more Xbox. The Xbox game price hikes are so bad, it literally crashed the membership site due to widespread cancellations. It's funny, this actually happened to Disney Plus recently, where they had mass cancellations, and their site got auto crash because of people mass cancelling. But yeah, basically, you can actually go onto Twitter and all these other services and all these other social media networks. Kevin, I'll answer your question in a quick second. But you can basically see all these. You can go to people who are like massive Xbox fans on Twitter and everything, and they are all saying that we have been like ardent supporters of Xbox, no matter what they've done. But this is the straw that broke the camel's back, and they say this is too far. So they have actually cancelled their Xbox. What was it? Oh darn it! What was it called? Game Pass. That was it. Xbox Game Pass. They've cancelled their Xbox Game Pass service, even though they are usually like pro Xbox, like the biggest Xbox fans. That's how deep this whole price hike has affected Xbox, that even their most loyal supporters are saying we're done. So it is absolutely insane what Microsoft have done, and quite frankly, I think they've basically just sealed their own fate. No one is going to want to be joining Xbox when all they're doing is just raising prices that on products that aren't even worth that much money. So yeah, Xbox is going to be out, and I bet you that Steam will be in. Because if you've seen the Steam Deck, there's rumors happening that now Valve are trying to bring what they did with the Steam Deck, and they're trying to make a home console version of that is more powerful and everything. And I think Valve will be the ones that will replace Xbox. Because Xbox is just a joke at this point. They try to say that everything is an Xbox, that if you play Xbox games on a handheld, it's an Xbox, on your phone, it's an Xbox, on your computer, that means your computer is an Xbox. They're grasping at straws like that to try and say that Xbox is super popular. Really, it isn't. They are fools down there that have no idea what they're doing and have no idea what gamers want. And they are doing everything they can to prioritize their own business and their own shareholders, but they're doing nothing to try to satisfy the customers. And you can't satisfy these two things without satisfying the customers first. But they've told the customers this. So at that point, they've screwed up at this point, and I hope that this is the thing that kills them. The Xbox One was the console announcement that to this day they have not recovered from, and it's very rare that we see a company that fails that badly fail that bad the second time. So I think this is literally the end of Xbox now. Good frickin' riddance. So, with that said, let me quickly answer Kevin's question, then I can answer your guys' questions on what you think about this whole situation. So Kevin says, are Crash, Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank more adult than Spyro and Sly Cooper? How come Arthur didn't escape from cops after Lee left? Glad you're good. I turned 31. Oh, you turned 31, Kevin. I'm 30. So, yeah, you and me, we're not far off. Okay, Crash, Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank more adult than Spyro and Sly. I don't know because I've not played them all. I've played a bit of Ratchet and Clank, a bit of Jak and Daxter. Crash Bandicoot, I love that third game on PS1. I played that so many times. More adult than... I played the Game Boy Advance version too. More adult than Spyro and Sly? I've played a bit of Spyro. Sly Cooper I've wanted to play, but I never got to play it. I don't know if they're more adult. They're all kind of cartoony, I think. So yeah, I don't think that any of them are more mature than the other. I think they're all quite cartoony and they seem to occupy the same space. But correct me if I'm wrong. And when you say how come Arthur didn't escape from cops after Lee left, I don't know what you mean by that. You're going to have to clarify that for me. Okay, so clarify that for me and I'll answer that question for you, bud. But thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Crazy Cat Lady says, "This is why I buy my game when I want to play. Don't bother with a streaming service." Yeah, me too. In fact, I never buy games digital. However, I used to do it here and there if they were at a very good deal on my PlayStation 4. And I only started buying games digitally on my Steam Deck via Steam because Steam drops those prices down to like dirt cheap. And that's why I never buy games that are full price on my Steam Deck. So I always get them when they're super cheap to where I feel like, okay, if the game is pulled, I won't like it, but it won't hurt as much. So that's what I usually do. That's why I get games digitally when they are cheaper to that level. But yeah, I would never want to pay full price that they're charging Xbox off for something like streaming games and all that. It's ridiculous. Buy the game you want to play, own it forever. You make that one payment, and you don't have to make multiple payments. That's how I see it. Thoughts on X-Men Evolution? I've only watched the first 2 seasons, but I've not seen the final 2 episodes of the second season. But I like that show. I wanted to watch it as a kid, but we never had the channel for it, so I could never watch it. But I'm trying to get through it now whenever I have time. Rohan says, Xbox are really killing themselves. Yes, they are. I think they've just put the nail in the coffin, quite frankly, at this point. Ethan's drawing says, "Hey Eric, sorry that I'm late. What did I miss?" Oh, don't worry, buddy. The first story I did was talk about Netflix trying to do a live-action Demon Slayer because the anime is so popular, as is the Infinity Castle movie in theaters. And I also talked about how they want Tom Holland to play Tanjiro in it, which is a rumor I've heard. But I don't know if it's true, but if it sounds like it would be true, and if it is, it's ridiculous. And now I'm just talking about Xbox and how they've raised prices to such a crazy level that people, even their most ardent fan base, are saying we're done. So that's what we're talking about. Big Bash says physical media lasts forever, streaming doesn't. Exactly. But Xbox, they're trying to do everything they can to make sure that you don't get value, and that's why this is happening. Spirit Hero says, unfortunately my payment for your Patreon didn't go through, but I'll see if I can get it going again. Yeah, if you're having any issues or troubles, be sure to let me know. I'll see if I can help you out with it. But it's a $10 donation if you're trying to get to the Discord server. It should be fine. Wow, I Hate Anime has gifted 10 subs. Wow. That's 10 memberships I Hate Anime has given to viewers. Wow, that is so generous. Let's see. Sarah received a gift by I Hate Anime. So did Aman Shield, Alexis Martin, The Dark Lord, Patrick Style, Dead Wolf Productions, Nolan414, Theo Harris, Ryu Curry. I hope I'm saying your name right. Billy, Storm7, the Ashman, Sebastian. Oh man, that is so generous of that is so generous of you, Anime. Really, that is incredibly generous. For those of you that are in the chat that have just become members, be sure to let Anime know how grateful you are, because it's because of him that you're even members. Oh. King the Monster says, well, I already have Patreon. Yeah. Well, this means that you also have access on YouTube if it makes it easier. Oh, that is very nice. That is very nice of I Hate Anime. Big Bash says, let's be honest, the best Xbox console is the 360. Yes, the Xbox 360 is the console that really won a lot of headlines back in the day, and it was actually beating the PlayStation 3. But Sony got their shit together with the PS3 Slim, and eventually they started selling more PlayStations, and right at the end of their lifespans, the Xbox 360 and the PS3 edged out, which is surprising, but it did. 10 Rex says, I'm an Xbox person, you're giving me bad news. Yeah, it's bad news, but it's true news, sadly. Okay. Side says, am I in there? Aman says, have you read the Absolute Batman comics? I haven't, but I've heard people talk about them. Sounds like some crazy stuff goes on in that. Fireboy says, Xbox is the dying consoles in the gaming industry. Nobody cares about Xbox anymore. No, they don't, because the company got greedy. That's why people don't care about Xbox anymore. They used to. Everyone was so excited for the next Xbox. But then when they announced the Xbox One, no one cared. Everyone turned on them. They even got booed on stage. And they're getting mass booed now because people are trying to mass cancel their subscriptions to them. And that's ultimately what Microsoft are trying to say is their bread and butter for Xbox now is these subscriptions. The Logman says, hey Eric, sorry I'm late. I've been watching Stranger Things and I'm in season 4 now and it's great. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I was not particularly fond of season 4, which is funny because people were not fond of season 3, but I liked season 3. But season 4 they're fond of and I wasn't. If anything, it actually really put me off of the show, which is surprising. Why do consoles have online subscriptions, says 10Rex? It's just another way to make revenue. With with certain companies like PlayStation, they have a subscription service which gives you online play and a bunch of other features. And Xbox have the same thing, but they're trying to go full on into making their subscription service about gaming. But people don't want to pay subscription service fees for gaming, and if they do, they want it to be a certain price, not this crazy price they put it at. And mark my words, they will raise that price again. So it's crazy what they're doing. It's absolutely insane. The Dark Lord says, money is that addiction of a drug for CEOs and the ones at the top. It is. Saeed, it doesn't look like you have a membership. I will be finding a way, by the way, to make sure that YouTube members, I'm going to try to find a way to link you guys into my Discord. So when you join and become a YouTube member, you are also a Discord member. That's something I'm trying to look into, and I'll try to do that. So, yep. Super Angry said, this is like Concord all over again. Yep, sadly is. Syed, you don't seem to have a membership. It doesn't look like. Let's see. No, you don't have a membership. Xbox is the modern day Sega. Yep, they are going to be. They're going to eventually be a third-party publisher who's lost to the competition, just like how Sega did with the Dreamcast being, I think, their final console, if I remember correctly. Alright, so has anyone got any more questions about this before we move on to the next story? And the next story is also a little bit Demon Slayer connected. Screw Xbox. Nope, it's bullshit, says JWK. A movie you like that everyone hates. We'll answer that question later. Let's talk about the stories at hand. Can you connect your Steam PC account to Steam Deck? Yes, you can, Goat. You can. You can even stream from your PC over to your Steam Deck, so you don't have to stay, as long as you've got a good internet connection, so you don't have to stay stuck on your computer to play games. You can just stream them on your Steam Deck, and you get much greater battery life on the Steam Deck that way. Can we warp to a good universe as 10 Rex? If we could, I think many of us will try to jump in there to be the first to do it. Be the first to go. Okay, before we move on to the next story, let's very quickly find something I downloaded here. And then we'll move on to the next story. Okay. Alright then, next story. The Simpsons movie returns for sequel after 2 decades. So, yep, for those of you that don't know or are too young to remember, the Simpsons movie came out in 2007. Oh, what's going on here? You shouldn't be here. You should be on this side of the fence. There we go. Let's just move this back here. There we go. Alright. Okay. Alright, now the Simpsons movie. Now, Disney reserved a release date for the Simpsons movie 2. Oh, hang on. We've got a super chat here from Kevin. Thank you very, very much, Kevin, for the super chat. And Kevin says, after courtroom explosion, Arthur went to Lee, but left before cops got him. Who should be the villain of the Simpsons movie 2? Do you like Looney Tunes Back in Action? Yes, Looney Tunes Back in Action I saw as a kid, really enjoyed it. Who should be the villain of Simpsons 2? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Tom Hanks was the villain in the first movie, so let's see who the villain is here. After courtroom explosion, Arthur went to Lee, but left before cops got him. Kevin, what are you talking about when you say courtroom explosion, Arthur went to Lee? What movie are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Joker 2. After the courtroom explosion, Arthur went to Lee, but left before cops got him. Oh, to Harley. Oh, you're talking about Harley. Left before cops got him. Okay, so what? Joker 2, he didn't escape. Oh. Honestly, I thought he should have gone with his people, and they would have all helped him out. But instead, he was running away from his people, and then just ended up in prison. It was a weird movie, that was. It was so weird what they were doing in that. Nolan says, yo, 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 I got free membership. Cool, cool. Cool indeed, buddy. So you can thank Anime for that. I Hate Anime is the reason that you got that. I Hate Anime said, should I wait for the new Steam Deck handheld to get the Steam Deck? I'd say just get it, because you're not going to get... The rumours are, if I was you, I'd get it, because the rumours are that the next Steam Deck is not going to come out until 2028 is what the rumours are. So if you really want it now, get it now. But make sure that you've looked up that your games play on it first before you do. The games that you want to play. Alright. Let's move back. Alright, so Disney reserved a release date for an unknown Marvel movie in 2027. But news just broke that an MCU movie will no longer release in theaters on that date, because they have now given that release date to the Simpsons movie 2. Now, this is interesting, as the first Simpsons movie was released in 2007, so we are getting a sequel 20 years later. Now, this seems like a very out of left field thing for Disney to do, but I think there are three reasons that they are doing. I think there are three reasons that they're doing this. All right, reason one. The first is that they are trying to utilize the IPs that they acquired when they purchased 20th Century Fox. The second is that The Simpsons is a series that got an immense amount of viewership on Disney Plus for like the longest time when they initially launched the service. And the third reason, in my opinion, is that this is their response to the box office smash that was Demon Slayer Infinity Train. Demon Slayer is a very popular anime series that is based on the manga, and with Demon Slayer's success from TV to theaters, I think Disney are hedging their bets that The Simpsons will reap the same box office rewards. Because, you know, this way they get to go straight from TV to the big screen, which is what they're hedging their bets on here. Now, will it work? Well, unlike The Simpsons, Demon Slayer is incredibly popular right now, and each season has an incredible amount of hype behind it. But I think it's a well-known fact that The Simpsons is nowhere near as popular as it once was. Plus, it doesn't have a narrative through line like Demon Slayer does, where it has like this big overarching story that is being set up in the shows and then continued in the movies. So I don't think it will reap the same rewards as Demon Slayer. But so to me, this is just Hollywood looking at something that already works, and then they're trying to cash in on something that they think is similar. I honestly think that a South Park movie in theaters would be a much smarter move in the current Hollywood climate than a Simpsons movie. South Park is still incredibly relevant and receives millions of views on both YouTube and especially YouTube Shorts and TikTok. So honestly, I think that this is just a desperate attempt from Disney to kind of find a way to just jump onto a bandwagon, is what I think. So yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's just a cheap move. I don't think it's a very smart one, but we'll see how it goes. I'll be curious to see if there is any hype behind The Simpsons after all this time, or if the hype has just completely died out. So what do you think? Does a sequel to The Simpsons movie interest you, or would you rather wait to watch it on streaming, or just not watch it at all? And would you be interested in another South Park movie for theaters? That's another thing I want to know. Let me know right now. I'll be curious to find out. A South Park movie will be great now, said JWK. Yeah, I know. It actually would be. Big Bash says, plus we can get more good South Park music from Trey and Matt. Well, let's hope they don't overdo it like they did in the first movie, but yeah, they could bring definitely some good music in. Ooh, Billy says something like the video games, maybe? Yeah, the video games had like a really big story, didn't they? And like it was like a big epic like invasion and everything. Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. A Family Guy movie. I don't think any Family Guy works as like these little portions of comedy, but to actually make a full-on movie about Family Guy, I don't know. But I don't watch a bunch of Family Guy though. Charlton says, hey Eric, glad to at least join a part of the stream. Well, I'm super glad you're here to join this part of the stream, so thanks for joining. Oh, Said says, anyway, gotta go. Take care, bud. Thanks for joining the stream. Deadwolf says, imagine a live-action South Park movie. Yeah, I don't think anyone wants that. But I'm sure they did something like that, didn't they? In the animation show? Or was that CGI? Or was that when they were adults? I can't remember. They've done so many different, like, wacky things on the South Park show. Movie King 3000 says, I love the first Simpsons movie, and I don't even like Simpsons like that. Oh, wow, that's interesting then. Spider Pig is my favourite gag in that movie. Miles says, it's surprising to me, but I don't think it'll work. People have criticized The Simpsons being stale over time. A lot of people have. That's because the writing is just not as good for it anymore. So I wonder, are they going to bring in new writers? Are they going to try to seek out more original Simpsons writers? Or are they going to just bring in the same writers from the current TV show, which is just not getting that much word of mouth, really? Crazy Cat Lady says, I'm not a big fan of handheld games. That's why I get consoles, because I like big screens. That's the cool thing with handheld games, though, is that you can dock them and connect them to big screens. That's what I can do here on this monitor. But it depends what kind of games you want to play. So I see what you mean. I watched the Simpsons movie when I was 7 or 8 years old, but I'm interested for a sequel after 20 years. It's been a while since I didn't watch a new episode of Simpsons. Yeah, I saw the Simpsons movie when I was 11 or 12 in 2007. But yeah, I very much remember that time. I mean, everyone loves bigger, longer, and uncut. A new South Park musical movie will be great if done right. Yep, it always has to be done right. I am saying, and hopefully Butters can be a much bigger character if they make a South Park movie. That would be something I think we would all want. I was 9 months old when the Simpsons movie came out. Wow, 9 months. Wow, it makes me feel old, Big Bash. Oh, the Simpsons movie was the favorite of my ex-best friend. Oh, interesting. I wonder how they're going to make this relevant. Yeah, that's what I wonder. How is the Simpsons movie going to be relevant? Because The Simpsons, that's the problem. Simpsons is not relevant. No one talks about The Simpsons anymore. When people talk about Simpsons now, do you know what they say? Oh, that show is still going. They talk about it in a negative connotation. They don't talk about it in a good sense. And that just tells you that its time has come and gone. I was like 2 when this Simpsons film came out, said the Dark Lord. Wow. Isn't The Simpsons just jokes? It can be, Crazy Cat Lady, but also The Simpsons has it always had an emotional core to it. It wasn't just jokes. There was always a story for the episode. So it wasn't just jokes. Miles says the Simpsons movie was written by original Simpsons writers. That movie has gone through rewrites before. But that movie went through rewrites before they finally got the story for the movie, according to David Silverman, the director. Okay, interesting. But so long as they have a foundation, a solid foundation, that's something that you need. Good idea, solid foundation, a funny scenario. And I don't know if the new people that are making and writing for The Simpsons, I don't know if they can do that. I was nothing when the movie came out, says Goat. Right. It kind of surprises me sometimes when I think back, because I remember I was about 12 at that time. To hear quite a few of you were very, even younger than me, or not even existing, is kind of a funny idea. A bit scary, too. The Movie King 3000 says, The Simpsons' voices has severely aged, so doing a movie 20 years later, would the vocal performances still be great? Probably, but it's going to be hard listening to Marge, not insulting the voice actor. Oh, not insulting the voice actors, by the way. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I think the voices should be fine. Just look at the South Park voices after all these years. Billy says, fun fact, when I watched Across the Spider-Verse, I thought the to be continued part will pull something like the Simpsons movie, or just continue it right after. Yeah, I knew it was going to be just to be continued, and we're still waiting. Although Haley Steinfeld said that she's been recording her dialogue now, but they do make that. But she wonders how much they change, because she rereads a lot of these lines a lot in different ways and in different tones. So she wonders how much they change. So hopefully they do a good job. Alright, how many people still watch The Simpsons? Do you still watch it, or have you stopped? Because I only occasionally watch certain scenes from The Simpsons when they pop up on YouTube, or if I'm scrolling through Instagram, or if sometimes on the very odd occasion, if I remember a very funny scene from the good seasons of The Simpsons, I'll usually look them up, like when Bart is always prank calling Moe at the bar on the phone. That was funny. Like, I remember when he called Moe in one episode, Bart tries to prank call him, and he goes, hi, I'm looking for someone at that... Is this Moe's bar? He goes, yeah, it's Moe's bar. And he goes, is there someone down there that I'm looking for someone? And he goes, I don't know, what's his name? He goes, second name, he goes, uh, second name Roch, first name Mike, and then he's like, all right, I'm looking for a. He turns to the bar. Mo does. He goes, all right, I'm looking for a Mike Crotch. Have you seen a Mike Crotch? Has anyone seen Mike Crotch? And then all the people at the bar start laughing at him. It's that you can look those up on YouTube. Those are really funny. What Bart does, all these pranks. At one point, he goes, I'm looking for Homer, and then he goes sexual, and then he goes, all right, I'll check. Homosexual? Is there a homosexual? Hey, everybody, I'm looking for a homosexual. That's those were funny. Those were really funny. Those jokes, like they used to do them very good back in the day. It was like a reoccurring gag he would do with Mo. So that was fun. That was funny. The Dark Lord says, I only saw what my parents watched on TV when I was a kid because they could change the channel to Criminal Minds or Blue Bloods or something like that. I went through the same thing when I was trying to watch the Justice League animated series. They switched over to a certain movie or show they wanted to watch. Ugh. So annoying. Well, lucky that we don't have to go through that anymore. I feel like back in the day we would, but now we can switch to our phones, our tablets, our computers. There are so many options to watch stuff, especially now that everything is on streaming. We can watch whatever we want when we want to watch it. 10 Rex says that's definitely going to be an out of context complication moment. Yeah, because he's trying to make Mo sound like he's looking for someone looking for a gay person in his bar. People with bar behavior as well. You never know who you're going to run into. For him to be saying these things is very embarrassing. Those were really funny. Big Bash says The Simpsons really lost its edge. South Park still has it. That is true. The Simpsons has lost its edge, and South Park still has its edge. That should kind of tell you something. That people probably would go back to The Simpsons if it brought that edge back to it. But they've long lost it. Speaking of which, we got the Tron movie coming up soon, and I remember there was a Tron episode with The Simpsons where Homer had like a portal in his house and he went into it and he turned into like a 3D character. A 3D character model. That was kind of interesting. I think it was Tron inspired, if I remember correctly. Was Tron a games as 10 Rex? I can't remember if it was a game. I'm sure there might have been a game out there, but no, it was an old Disney CGI movie, if I remember correctly. They made another Tron movie. That Tron movie didn't do very good at the time, but it became beloved over time. They made a second Tron movie, which didn't do well. Now they're making a third one, which looks cool, but it doesn't look like something I really care to go and watch, personally. I want to hear Cartman sing his famous song and Kyle's mom again. Who's with me, says the Dark Lord. If they can make it seem natural, then yeah. If not, then no. Although, Kyle's mom did something in the last episode where people on the internet said, wow, I guess Kyle's mom is not a bitch anymore. Or I guess that she's not a bitch after all. That's what people were saying. So, yeah, it's cool. Cameron Shine says there's no way they could end it when it's still not ended. Yeah. Miles Adair says Homer 3D, I think, from season 7 is what you're talking about. I remember that. Yeah, it was an interesting episode. Alright, now let's move on to the Q&A session, where you guys can ask me any questions you want to, and you still can use Super Chats or Streamlabs chats if you want to donate and ask questions and have them highlighted and guaranteed to be answered. Get them to the top of the pile that way. They should make the movie a send-off, says Amon. Has anyone seen the Exit 8 movie? I think I've heard of it. I've not seen it. Eric, I randomly Googled some stuff, and why does London have so many constituencies? I don't know. At long last I can ask the most unhinged nonsense I can think of, says the Dark Lord. And it will also show up on the screen as well. Big Bat says, Eric, if George Lucas's sequels were made, do you think they'd get the same reaction like the prequels? No, because they're much more simple stories, and they got right what they were trying to do, whereas I feel like the prequels, there is definitely huge rooms for improvement. Not to mention, the reason people were so hard on the prequels is because of they were so attached to the original trilogy. So, you know, it's like, what makes them attached to Star Wars first And if they really like Star Wars, then they'll be mad if they change it. But if it's the other way around, I don't think it would work the same way. Khan says, Eric, did you hear about Tom Holland's head injuries and people overreacting to it? Yeah, they said he cracked his head. The thing is, I'm like, how could he crack his head? Because that sounds really bad. If he just hit his head, that's one thing. But they say the articles were saying that he cracked his head, which sounded much worse. So, yeah, and they said he'll be back at work in a few days. I'm like, that's a contradiction and a half right there. Fireboy says, gotta go. Bye, everyone. Take care, buddy. Thanks for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. Goat, only I show that image when I want to. I'm not going to be showing it because you want to see it. I'll be showing it when you least want to see it. That's how it goes with that image. I Hate Anime says, I rewatched Avatar 2 in IMAX 3D and there was a preview for the third movie at the end. Oh, cool. That Avatar 2 re-release did not do well. It did very poorly, actually. The box office numbers came in today and they were not good. Khan says, Eric, did you hear about James Gunn's plans change for Batman and Brave and the Bold? His plans have changed. How so? Crazy Cat Lady says, I don't watch it. I'm not big on adult cartoons. Oh, fair enough. Will you do anime versus battle? I will at one point. I've got an anime versus video idea that I want to do. And I will do it. It's between two anime movies, and I will do it at some point. Infinity Castle sequels more excited than Spider-Verse. Yeah, kind of. I'm more excited for the Demon Slayer stories as well, because it's just taken so long for the Spider-Verse movie to continue, and in that time, I think I've seen most of the Demon Slayer anime, so it's just taken so long. In that time, I'm into Demon Slayer, so Spider-Verse is taking too long. It is, because we're moving on to other stuff now. Yeah, Spirit Hero, I did know that Kaiser was voiced by Channing Tatum. I heard of it before I went to go see the movie, but when I was watching the movie, I didn't recognize his voice. It was only afterwards it kind of was reminded to me that he was in the movie, and I was like, oh yeah. And then it says, which character was he? Oh yeah, that was him. So yeah, I knew going in, but I didn't know which character. When I came out and I looked into it, I was like, oh yeah, that does sound like him. He did a good job in putting on that anime English dub kind of voice. Electrify has done a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, buddy. He says, have you seen Tron Uprising? Hold on a second. Alright, let's see. Have I seen Tron Uprising? Was that the TV show, Tron Uprising? Let me double check. Give me a second. Tron Uprising... That was the TV series. No, I've not seen it. I did look at the first few minutes, I think, of episode 1 on Disney Plus, just for curiosity's sake, but I've never seen it. But that show got cancelled, I hear, afterwards. Man, you guys are really being nice with the super chats. Thank you very much. Keep them coming if you can. I'm not going to say no. It's like I said, it all goes towards supporting the channel. Spirit Hero says, Eric, what is your least favorite film genre? Ooh, that's a good question. Rom-coms. I don't really care about romantic comedies. They're just not my kind. My mum and my sister used to always ask me to get them back in the day for them, and I did, and yeah, they were just not for me. The amount that I'd have to keep renting and giving them sending them back and all that stuff. I was like, oh man, like it was a thing that I had to do. Keep getting them rom-coms. Have I watched Jujutsu Kaisen? I haven't, but I think I've heard some good things about it. Let me double check. Is that the show that I think it is? Because it's an anime that I have wanted. Does it have a movie? Does it? Yeah, I've heard good things about this. I want to watch this, but right now I'm kind of in it with Demon Slayer. So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen is something I do want to watch. I've heard very good things. Who else has seen Jujutsu Kaisen? Is it a good show? Like, is it worth watching? Wow, it's a lot of episodes in season 1. Season 2 has a lot of episodes. Season 3 is not even out yet, so it says there's going to be a season 3 in 2026, even though 2023 is when the second season came out. It's on Netflix, Eric. Aman says yes. Joshman says never watched that anime. Khan says it definitely is, especially in the anime. It's really entertaining. Not me. Spirit Hero goes, me, it's pretty good. Most underrated Spider-Man villain, in my opinion. What's your second favorite plant? Least favorite video game genre? That's a good question. Least favorite video game genre? I'm not really into RPGs where they give you points and everything, and like, you know, I'm not really into those. Although I did play Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix to completion on my Nintendo DS back in the day. Really did enjoy that. But I'm not really into... I'd say RPGs. I'm not really into them. I don't like that they take hundreds of hours to beat. I haven't got that kind of time. I don't like how they're just full of filler, like tiny side missions. They bore me very quickly. So RPGs I'm not into. Like Hogwarts Legacy has got a lot of fat on it, which I don't like. I'd just like single player campaigns to be more streamlined. That's what I like. I don't want to spend hundreds of hours. That's not the kind of thing I want to do. Most underrated, most underused Spider-Man villain, in my opinion. Most underused? I don't know. I think they're all used quite well, quite frankly. I've never looked at... Probably Black Cat. I think Black Cat hasn't been used as often. And we haven't even seen a live-action version yet. I'm surprised we haven't. So I'd say Black Cat. Second favorite plant. I don't have any favorite plants. Dark Lust says, I tortured my way through Iron Fist over the last few weeks. Had no energy for anything else. Yeah. Oh, Big Bash is live service. Live service is more of a business model kind of game, but then again, it is a genre. Would you call it a genre? Because the genre is whatever the game is, like looter shooter. That's the genre. Live service is something else. But yeah, I don't like live services either. Have you seen the new Lego Batman game? I have. It looks pretty fun, but it looks just like Arkham Knight, but in Lego mode. I don't think I care about that. I do like the comedy of these Lego games, though. Hey, Eric, any upcoming videos that you're making currently besides the Halloween Versa video, said Khan? Well, right now, all my attention is on that, but I also am making Patreon videos. I put up my trailer reaction for a couple of trailers recently. I did it for the Avatar trailer. And I also did a trailer reaction. What was the other trailer reaction I did? Let me quickly take a look. But I did the new trailer for Avatar. And the other trailer I did was for the Welcome to Derry and the Mandalorian and Grogu trailers. So I've been very busy. I've worked on a lot of those. So I've done those. I'm also going to be watching... I'm going to try to get it done this month. It's going to be difficult, but I'm going to try. I'm going to watch K-Pop Demon Hunters. And I'm going to try to review that as well as a quick movie review for King of the Monsters 2021. Because he commissioned that. But like I said, the Halloween Versus video is a big commitment. And I want to get it ready for Halloween. That's like something that I want to get done. If it's after that, I will not be pleased with myself if I got it done after. So I'm working very hard on that. So yeah, I'm really trying hard on that. But yeah, then I'm going to try to do K-pop Demon Hunters. I've also been writing the script for the Monkey review as well that you guys want. And then after that, I'm going to get to work on the other three-way versus video that I've been trying to do. So I've got a lot going on. I've got a lot on my plate. Spirit Hero says, "Oh yeah, Netflix also wants to make a live-action K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm sure they do, but at least this is something that they were willing to take on. So yeah." Goat says, "How many times have you seen Megamind 2? I've seen it once when I did my watch reaction, and I'm gonna watch it again so I can review that as well for G Gamer." Cameron says, "Did you watch the show or parts in its original Japanese language to see the difference?" Are you talking about Demon Slayer? With Demon Slayer, yes, I watched it all in English because I prefer English dubs. I grew up watching my anime with English dubs: Pokemon, Zoids, Yu-Gi-Oh, Death Note, all that stuff. Beyblade. So I prefer to watch them dubbed. I'm used to that. But I did, out of curiosity, in a couple scenes, look at it in Japanese, but that's about it. 10 Rex, I've not read the original Jurassic Park novel, but I have wanted to. Big Bash says, "Eric, which superhero would you love to see a game for the most that have no games made for them?" I would say Superman. He's had games made for him, but seriously, he's made for a video game. He can do so much cool stuff, and that's the whole point of a superhero in a video game, is that they can do so many cool things, and I want him to have a video game. Also, Flash would be cool to see what he could do in a video game. That would be fun. Green Lantern, I think, could also be cool. So yeah. Big Bash, don't mess with me. Superman 64, you know that is not a good game. That doesn't count towards anything for anyone. That's known as the worst Nintendo 64 game. Mr. Fourful says, "Are you going to do any videos on Stranger Things since the final season comes out soon?" I don't think so. Quite frankly, Season 4 just took my joy out of the whole Stranger Things thing, to be honest with you. So yeah, I kind of just don't care about the show after Season 4. That really put me off. And I loved the first 3 seasons. Even when people were so hard on the 3rd season, I still enjoyed it. But Season 4 is the one that just went too far for me. Charlton says they should make a Daredevil or a Punisher video game. I'm sure they did make a Daredevil game. They must have made a movie-based Daredevil game at some point, I think. At least they did for the Game Boy Advance, I think, if I remember. But they were also going to make a Daredevil video game for the PS2, which got cancelled, and I think, was it last year or something? A build of it was released online, and people could actually play it. So there's a version of it there. And let's see, what else did you say? Did you say Daredevil, and where's the other? We have got a Punisher video game, Charleston, and it's a great Punisher video game. Look it up. It's a wonderful game. Very violent and gory, especially if you get the PC version with mods. Big Bash, I kind of miss tie-in video games as well. They were never good, but there was always something kind of exciting about playing a video game based on characters that you love from a movie. There's always something cool about that. But I think Batman Arkham Asylum pretty much killed the movie-based video game, because Batman Begins had a movie-based video game, and they were going to do one with The Dark Knight, but ultimately it didn't end up happening. But Arkham Asylum came out the next year after The Dark Knight, and it blew everyone away. Yep, Goat says Suicide Squad is 95% off on Steam, and I still wouldn't pay for it. That's how much I don't care about Suicide Squad. Kill the Justice League. Have you ever thought about doing movie rewrite videos? I thought about it once or twice. It's not something I'm overly passionate about, really, to be honest with you, so I haven't gone through with it. But you see me doing it sometimes, like in my Superman Versus video when I talk about what Lex Luthor should have done, or what I talk about, not really that, when I really talked about, in Black and White, when I said there should have been like an extra segment, we should have seen Superman's whole day as the character of Clark Kent and hearing all these things about Superman and everything. I said that was like my rewrite right there, essentially. So I have done it. It's not like I haven't. There's many times I've done stuff like that here and there in my videos. Joshua says, "Eric, did you state it? You wanted to do a movie review on Zootopia 2 when it comes out." I haven't stated it. We'll see what happens closer to the time, but I'll try. I'll try. Time Shadow says, "I'm just saying, Eric. Stranger Things videos at a time where the new series is coming out. You could draw a lot of attention to your channel." It's tiring and it's a lot to do because it means I have to watch the whole season. Then I've got to write a video about it, and in the end, it's like, will it work or will it not? We will have to see what happens, quite frankly. But I'm trying new things to see if I can get some views in and everything. The Superman video is actually pretty good in terms of viewership right now. But yeah, I'm still trying other things. But I don't think Stranger Things is going to get as much viewership. Quite frankly, a lot of people are pissed off at Stranger Things because it has that Noah Schnapp who said some disgusting things about Palestinians in his tweet, and what he was saying about Zionism is sexy, which is all that. Like, seeing where the state of that whole situation is now compared to what it was before, I think people are going to be even more pissed off when he starts showing up in interviews, and the same with other cast members of his that also support the same thing. It's like it's not going to go down well, and I understand why it isn't. Electrify says, "I feel like Stranger Things 5 will fail." Well, I think it will fail too. I think it's going to do good numbers compared to, other streaming shows, but I think it's going to be nothing compared to what it was. Because do you know what Netflix's release strategy is for Stranger Things Season 5? They're releasing it in 3 parts. One part Thanksgiving, one part Christmas, I think, and another part in the month of January, if I remember correctly. It's like, I did not like the 2-season split the 2-part split they did with Season 2 of Wednesday, and it turns out that did not do good for their numbers in terms of their overall viewership. The Wednesday Season 2 massively fell below Wednesday Season 1. And I think that's because of the whole split time thing they did, where they just said, okay, you're going to get the first half in 1 month and then the second half in the next month. I think that did not work out well for them, and it took momentum out of the show, because after you watch 4 episodes, a month is a long time. There's a lot of other stuff to watch in that time, and it's easy to forget what happens by the time you watch the next 4 episodes, and I think it just was not a good release strategy. So I think with Stranger Things Season 5, I think they're going to have a similar problem, quite frankly. It failed Invincible Season 2 as well. Yeah, The Dark Lord, you're right. Except Invincible Season 2, I think, just had it worse. That was far worse. It wasn't a month. We had to wait a good few months, and man, was it horrible. It was so... That just got me angry, actually, I remember. If you watch one of my... If you go on my Patreon and you watch my Let's Watch of Invincible Season 2, you'll see I was getting quite irritated with it for how long we had to wait, to the point that I stopped watching it for a while. Electrify says, why don't you like Stranger Things 4? There's many reasons, but one reason is something that I didn't like but I was excited about, is that the episodes in Stranger Things Season 4 were going to be like twice the length. So I was looking really forward to that. I was like, cool, give me more runtime. Turned out the runtime felt like it was just padding. Felt like there was a lot of slower parts in the episodes, and it felt like they weren't paced properly, and they felt like they were overly long. It felt like work to watch them. Not to mention, I didn't like the new druggy character they got for comedic effect. What was the boyfriend's name? Mike's brother? I can't remember his name, but I used to like him in the first couple of seasons, but I think in Season 4 he was just a druggie is what he was. He was just irritating as well. I hated his druggy friend. I did not like Will in Season 4. I was defending Will because I liked him in Season 2 when he was in there a lot more, and 3, and my family didn't like him. I was like, they said that they don't like him at all, and I was like, I don't think he's that bad, like, it's not a big deal. Season 4, he pissed me off, because 11 was getting bullied, and he was A, not doing nothing, B, he made her look bad in front of Mike, even though she was being bullied, but he phrased it like she's lying to you. When he said to Mike, he made her look like shit, even though she's the one that was being bullied. And throughout the whole season, he was doing nothing but cry and cry and cry and cry. And there came a point where, remember, these are double the length of episodes, so it's like you're getting twice as many episodes in one season, really. And by the time we were 3/4 of the way in, I was like, freaking enough. I actually got pissed off, and I was like, just man up and quit being such a bitch. Because it was just crying so much, and it's like he's crying over little things when bigger things are going on, like the death of his friends and everything, and he's so clearly got a crush on Mike, and he's crying over that. when big world-ending shit is going on this side. And I'm like, that was such a forced drama thing, and it was so embarrassing. So yeah, there was that. Also, the plot, I like the villain in it. And I also thought that was kind of cool what they were doing, like the Dungeons and Dragons thing, where people thought it was a cult or like it was evil. But and those bullies hating it, I liked that one thing, but it kept on going. There should have been a point where you saw one of his own people get killed in the lake. That's when those bullies should have been like, okay, that's enough. Like, this is not Dungeons and Dragons stuff. This is something else. I feel like they should have found common ground there. But no, they became these cartoony Stephen King level bullies. And when he was punching Lucas at the end, like Lucas was bleeding, I was like, what the heck is this? Like, this is like overstayed its welcome too much. So I didn't like a lot of the character stuff. I did not like Will. And also, like, when you watch like Eleven and her story, I was not really caring there. It felt like it was almost like this was a retcon, her whole backstory. It felt like they were adding things later on, and it felt wonky, the whole storyline. I didn't like Max either. I understood her dilemma, but man, this is where I'm starting to notice that the actress that was playing her, I can't remember her name, but Sadie Sink, that was it. I was like, I feel like now I'm starting to see a pattern in your performances where you're just playing a moody character all the time. And that bothered me too. It was like, I get what she's going through, but even when in the middle of the episode when she escapes death and she feels happier and more grateful to be with her friends, even then she was still acting moody, and I was like, you know what, I'm just fed up with you. I've had enough. So I really was just not a fan of that whole season, and those are the reasons I remember. There's a lot of other stuff I've kind of blocked out, but I thought it was just the worst season in my opinion. Which horror slasher is my favorite? Ghostface. Love Ghostface. Have you seen Disney's Dinosaur? Disney's first attempt at CGI. Funnily enough, the dinos have more expression than in Lion King. I know. Yeah, I watched that movie in theaters as a kid with my brothers and sisters and my mum and dad. Really enjoyed it. Really, really did. Haven't seen it in years though. I'm almost afraid to go see it again because I think the animation, the CG is really not going to hold up. But yeah, I loved that movie as a kid. Watched it so many times. Judge Holden, no go, I've not heard of that. Spirit Hero said they had a fun event at the LA Anime Expo where the Japanese voice actor for Tanjiro and the English voice actor for Zenitsu got together and performed one of the scenes. Oh, really? Wow. Is it on YouTube? Like, is it available as a clip to see? I'd actually like to see that. Not only Stranger Things Season 4 the weakest season, but it's a season that I'll never forgive for doing that awful mid-season break that is affecting a lot of other shows. It is making everyone angry. Yeah, it had a mid-season break, didn't it, as well? It was just not necessary. Not to mention, the final episode, when they did release it, it was 2.5 hours, which is so freaking long. But not only that, but I actually saw the episode when it came out, but then they were updating the CGI like days after it came out, and they were saying that now we've completed the CG, and I'm like, so what? You gave us the incomplete version for those of us that waited. Why is it taking you so long to get the CGI done? You should have got it done by the deadline. So that also bugged me. Khan says, Eric, did you finally watch Arcane Season 2? If you still didn't, you still have the chance to do so. I do have the chance to do so, and I still haven't, because I'm very busy right now working on other videos. And I need to watch Peacemaker Season 2 before I watch Arcane Season 2. So, yeah, I'm just busy with other stuff. But I have watched Invincible Season 3. I have watched the recent season of Demon Slayer Season 5, I think we are on. I've also watched the Demon Slayer movie, so I'm catching up on stuff. I am. Cameron says, every Aslan from Narnia expresses more, and he's a lion. I know. Midnight Dubstep says, hey man, just here to say hi. Gotta go to work in 10 minutes. Keep being awesome, and we'll text you on Insta later after. Oh, no problem. Thanks for joining, bud, and thanks for dropping by and saying hi. And hope you have a great day at work. Dark Lord says, Peacemaker Season 2 is great so far. I loves it. Okay, cool. Oh, hi, Killick. He goes, hey Eric, sorry for not showing up lately. I've been busy with college. Don't worry about it. I'm glad that you are here, though, so thanks for joining. I'm not looking forward to Greta Gerwig's Narnia at all, says Spirit Hero. Yeah, they're gender-bending Aslan, aren't they, to a woman. Silly Greta Gerwig. Greta Thunberg is actually brave of what she's doing right now. I hope she's safe. Well, she's not safe, is she? But let's not go to such a depressing thought. But yeah, let's hope she's safe. Cameron says Infinity Castle had some of the best animation I've ever seen. It had really good animation. It was beautiful, and the music was great too. Like, seriously. Okay, guys, we're going to end the stream in 10 minutes, so if you have any other questions, make sure you get your questions in now, and you can do it through Super Chats or Streamlabs chats, and I'll definitely see them if you do them that way, or you can just do them in the chat and see if I get to them. Did I see the Minecraft movie, says Cameron? No, I did not. The kids are supposed to be young, but the actors are now in their 20s. Yeah, and Millie Bobby Brown has got a kid now. She adopted, she's married, and she adopted a kid. So, look at where she started in the first season, look where she is now. The shows are taking way too long to release. Charlton says, gonna go now. Take care. Okay, take care, bud. Spirit Hero says, I'm going to head out now, Eric. See you next time. Okay, see you too, Spirit Hero. Take care. Thanks for joining. Which is my favourite Hashira? I used to think Mr. Rengoku, but I need to watch the movie again, the Mugen Train movie again, because I haven't seen Mr. Rengoku in a while. So right now, I'll say my favourite Hashira is Mr. Giyu. He left a big impact, I thought. Big Bash says, I'm so bummed that the day the Earth blew up, it bombed. It was a chance to bring back 2D animation in cinemas. Yeah, but hopefully it did good on digital, hopefully. But yeah, that was not a good thing. Thoughts on the upcoming Jesus horror movie? I've heard of it, not looked into it, so I can't really comment on it. Microsoft was the old saying, listening to the shareholders over the customers. Exactly. Yeah, they really were. Have you seen Fixed? No, but I want to. But I've also not heard good things about it. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. You talk about that show. I've not seen it. My younger brother, I think he used to watch it. Which Upper Moon was my favourite? Are you talking about the villains? Akaza counts as Upper Moon, doesn't he? I'll say Akaza. Did you hear that the animation company that worked on Eyes of Wakanda filed for bankruptcy? That's sad when you hear that happen. But I didn't like that style of animation, so I'm not. If that's what their work was, I'm not going to say it's something that saddens me that that studio is gone. It saddens me about the workers, but I don't care about the animation particularly. Khan says, Eric, did you hear about the actor who plays Tobias in the Black Lightning CW series potentially might play Tombstone in Brand New Day? I didn't know. I saw an actor that they showed that will be playing him. I have not seen him in anything, though. I didn't know he was in that. That's interesting. I never watched that show, though. I've not seen Chainsaw Man. Jurassic World Rebirth. I didn't like it. It's the recent movie Rebirth, wasn't it? Yeah, I did not like it. I thought it was bad. And I didn't like the characters either. It's the first time the characters just didn't do it for me. Scarlett Johansson as the main character, she was just so blah. I mean, Alan Grant in Jurassic Park, he had a quirk about him. Not only was he just a very likable character, and all of them were, but he had a quirk about him. That quirk being that there was a utility to his quirk too. Is that being that he would tell, he was a dinosaur expert, and he would tell them, don't move, a T-Rex can't see you if you don't move. That's iconic. Chris Pratt, he could speak to velociraptors. He imprinted on them since their birth, and he was training them. That was another quirk that he had. What's Scarlett Johansson's quirk? It's like there's nothing special about her. So it's like I just don't care, to be quite honest with you. It was like she was just boring, I thought. King of the Monsters says, I thought you didn't like Dominion's characters either. Yeah, I didn't like their characters either. It just felt like everyone was in safe mode in that movie. And the writing felt off as well. So, Yeah. Did you like the Disortus Rex? You mean that big monster that was in there? Not really. Eric, is there a funny memory of a hilarious bug you encountered when you played a video game one time? I'm sure there must have been, but I can't remember. When I played Spider-Man 2 for the PS5, there was a point where the the pedestrians, like the civilians that were walking in the streets, I would go to a corner of an alleyway or something, and they would be walking on like this path that would take them up to a building, like to a door, and they would just like walk on the air, like they were just walking on the air, even though the footpath has ended. And it was so weird. There was like a line of them. I recorded footage of it. I was going to put it in my Versus video, which I still intend to make at some point. And you'll see it then, but I was like, what kind of glitch is this? Okay, 5 more minutes, so get your questions in, and then we're going to end the stream. Joshua says, Eric, is the new Looney Tunes movie out in your country yet? I don't know. I've not seen it. I've not looked. Oh, take care, Deadpool Productions. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in 2 weeks. My most hyped movie of 2025 that hasn't come out yet. It's probably got to be Avatar 2, but it's not. I was never really hyped for it, though. All the movies that I was hyped for have pretty much come out this year, you know, particularly Superman. The new Spinosaurus in Rebirth. Oh yeah, that. Yeah, I wasn't fond of it. I preferred the original Spinosaurus compared to the new one they did in Rebirth. Khan says, did you hear about the news about James Gunn now focusing on well-known DC characters instead of unknowns as he usually does? Yes, I have, and I talked about that. I think I talked about it on Discord with you guys. The reason he's doing that is because he's something that he should have done originally, is what I said, because instead he was focusing on the Authority and these other more niche characters, which to me made no sense, and even Swamp Thing. So now he's like, yeah, we're gonna have to focus on characters that people actually want to see in the theater, which is exactly what I was thinking this whole time. So hopefully he's got his mind on the right goal, which is to do the main Justice League characters, which is what he should have done. So hopefully that he'll do that, and hopefully it'll work. Dark Lord says, why is it indie animation shows look better than most Hollywood films? I mean, Songs of War, Amazing Digital Circus, and Murder Drones all have great animation. I've not seen any of those, although I've heard of Songs of War, but I can't compare, so I can't really say because I've not seen. But I'll take your word for it. I can't remember the last time I saw animation in a Western production that really knocked my socks off. I really can't remember. Joshua says, Eric, do you got plans to watch Jendy Tartakovsky's Fixed before the end of the year, just in case if you have to do a best and worst movies list? I think I've already kind of got some of that stuff in my list going down, but yeah, there's other movies I'm going to have to watch too. I need to watch Ballerina and plenty of other films I got to watch to make sure that I've got, you know, that I'm watching everything and that I'm up to date, so I can do those lists. Yeah, same thing as well, says Khan, especially Knights of Guinevere, which kind of felt like a shots on Disney. Interesting, that is. Yeah, Disney deserve having shots taken at them at this point. Okay, got 1 more minute, so get your questions in. Dark Lord says, well, I'd very highly recommend Songs of War. It's on YouTube, so no giving money to Disney or any one company. Ten Rex says, I showed my dad your Indiana Jones versus video because he's a fan of that franchise and said 4 out of 10 was too harsh. Was too harsh for the 5th movie. I think that was the 4 out of 10 was generous. My parents, I'll tell you this, my parents are fans of Indiana Jones. They watched the movie and about halfway through they just turned it off. That tells you everything right there, that does. Oh, take care, King of the Monsters 2021. What do you like more, the prequels or King of the Crystal Skull? The prequels, of course. All, you know, the prequels have got a lot of good stuff in them, and episode 3 of Star Wars in particular, I love that one. Especially if you watch the Clone Wars show, it makes it even better. So yeah, definitely that, I would say. Oh really? Fun fact, says the Dark Lord. Knights of Guinevere or Guinevere or whatever, an indie show, was made by one of Disney's ex-showmakers they screwed over. Wow, that is... Khan says it. That is hilarious. Anyway, guys, we're going to end the stream here. I'm just going to let you guys know right now that we have got next week, we're not doing another live stream. We're going to be doing a Patreon video call, and this will be the time slots that we'll be doing it at. So look at those times. I'll post this as well on Discord next week and also on my YouTube community post so you guys can see it. But next week, we're going to be watching Zootopia as a watch party on my private Discord server. So be sure to jump on in, and yeah, we'll all be able to hang out and we'll be able to have a chat about the movie. We'll be able to watch it and watch it together. So all you got to do is go to my Patreon, join this perk right here, tie it together. You'll get all these additional features like trailer reactions, early access to Versus videos, access to my game show and my Let's Watch show. Plus, you'll gain access to my private Discord server, not only so we can do video chats and chat on text chats and everything, but also so we can do watch parties. And the first watch party will be of Zootopia. So definitely you're going to want to join over on that, and we can have that next week. So next week will be a Discord, private Discord watch party. And then the week after that, we will do a live stream on YouTube. So just so you know, there'll be no live stream on YouTube next week, but it will be the week after that. So definitely join over to my Patreon to gain access to all this. And my links to my Patreon is in the description below. And also, I've got my Amazon affiliate links in the description. So for the first person to do 3 consecutive Amazon affiliate purchases using my links below will be able to request a free quick movie review of their choice that I will make specifically for you, and I won't charge you however much it costs to commission that on my Patreon, so it'll be free. All you gotta do is just do 3 purchases on Amazon that you normally would do, but by using my links in the description below. It'll cost nothing extra to you, but Amazon will recognize that you did the purchase clicking my link, and that will really be helpful, and it will really help support the channel too. So be sure to do that, and I'll give you that in return. Any movie you want me to review, I'll review it for you. So thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch all of you very, very soon. Take care.